Welcome to Eye on the Tigers News, and more importantly, welcome to Friday. I'm Aislinn Foltz.
And I'm Andrea Ross. And here's the news we're watching. A doctor in New York City, who recently returned from treating Ebola patients in Guinea, became the first person in the city to test positive for the virus Thursday, setting off a search for anyone who might have come in contact with him. Dr. Craig Spencer was rushed to Bellevue Hospital Center and placed in isolation at the same time as investigators sought to retrace every step he had taken over the past several days.
Canadian government leaders gathered in a show of resolution, a day after a deadly attack on Canada's Parliament, as authorities and everyday Canadians sifted through confounding shards of the gunman's life, seeking to understand what motivated the man to storm the nation's seat of power. U.S. intelligence agencies are on particular alert for what they call copycat attacks.
Missouri police have been brushing up on constitutional law and stocking up on riot gear in preparation for a grand jury's decision about whether to charge a white police officer who fatally shot a black 18-year-old in suburban St. Louis. The preparations are aimed at avoiding a renewed outbreak of violence during a potentially large demonstration that could follow an announcement of whether Ferguson police officer Darren Wilson will face a criminal trial for the August 9th death of Michael Brown.
The 23-year-old Maryland man who climbed over the White House fence earlier this week has been charged with felonies for assaulting 2 police dogs and making threats, the Secret Service said. Dominic Adesanya in the custody of the U.S. Marshals Service for previous outstanding warrants. This is not Adesanya's first arrest at the Executive Mansion. Records show he was also charged with unlawful entry at the White House complex in late July.
Camel cigarette maker Reynolds American Incorporated is snuffing out smoking in its offices and buildings. The nation's second biggest tobacco company informed employees Wednesday that beginning next year, the use of traditional cigarettes, cigars, or pipes will no longer be permitted at employee desks or in offices, conference rooms, hallways, and elevators. Lighting up is already prohibited on factory floors and in cafeterias and fitness centers. The no smoking policy will go into effect once Reynolds builds indoor smoking areas for those still wanting to light up indoors.
British monarch Queen Elizabeth II has sent out her first tweet, and she signed it Elizabeth R. The 88-year-old monarch tried her hand at Twitter as she opened a new gallery in central London's Science Museum Friday. The Queen removed a glove to type on a touchscreen tablet, writing, "I hope people will enjoy visiting the exhibition." She sent it through the official British monarchy account on the social media website as some 600 guests looked on.
And finally, Mexico High School's first OK League team of the academic year took first place yesterday. The team competes in an academic contest once a month against other Oswego County schools. Yesterday's task dealt with the issue of texting and driving. Teams were charged with creating a public service announcement, a poster, while solving math-related problems. Mexico finished first most of categories on its way to claiming the overall honor.
Fearing that there could be a break in our weather just in time for the weekend, Patrick Howell has the forecast.
After a week of dull skies and on and off rain, we're looking at some changes taking place as the storm system that was anchored off the northeast coast has started to pull away. That means we'll start to see some sun later Friday, just in time for kickoff. The fair weather will continue into at least the first part of Saturday before we see another system come in later Saturday into Sunday. Temperatures will be in the mid-50s tonight and in the low 60s for Saturday. A much longer range view sees some much warmer temperatures coming Tuesday and Wednesday.
A busy weekend of sports starts tonight. Here's Candy Lamb with the details.
A big week of preparation is complete, and all that's left is teeing it up and getting after it. And that's what Mexico's football team plans to do tonight as they open the Section 3 playoffs in West Hill. Kickoff is 7 p.m. We had a chance to sit down and talk with senior Austin Gain earlier this week. Here's a bit of what he had to say.
It feels like the feeling of accomplishment, really. I mean, when you get shot down so early in the season, and then to be able to come back the next year and take that next step to go further. I mean, and to be one of the older kids on the team. I mean, these other kids looking up to you and stuff like that. It really feels good.
The Giants and the Royals resume the World Series tonight with Game 3 in San Francisco. The series is tied at 1-1. Bogus classes and automatic A's and B's are at the heart of a cheating scandal at the University of North Carolina that lasted nearly 2 decades, encompassing about 3,100 students, nearly half of them athletes. At least 9 university employees were fired or under disciplinary review, and the question now becomes what, if anything, the NCAA will do next. Penalties could range from fewer scholarships to vacated wins. Most of the athletes were football players or members of the school's cherished basketball program. North Carolina may not be the only school with some explaining to do. Closer to home, Syracuse University may have their own trouble to deal with. The NCAA is continuing its investigation into the Syracuse men's basketball program, which includes allegations involving extra benefits and academic impropriety that date back about 10 years, according to a report by ESPN.com on Thursday night. The football team also is part of an investigation. Syracuse will go before the NCAA Committee on Infractions on October 30th and 31st in Indianapolis.
The calendar is pretty full the next few days. Here's Nathaniel Schrader with the schedule and a look at this day in history.
A busy calendar includes the OHSL Swimming and Diving Championships today. Senior Hannah Bittner is favored to take the top spot in diving. The girls' volleyball team will close out its season on Saturday with the OHSL tournament. Next week marks National French Week. We can be assured that Mexico French Club will have some nice surprises for the student body. And if you weren't happy with your school pictures, don't worry. You'll be able to have picture retakes next Tuesday in the Hungerford Library. And today, October 24th in history, the first transcontinental telegraph message was sent from California to President Abraham Lincoln in 1861. In 1931, the George Washington Bridge connecting New York and New Jersey was dedicated. In 1940, the 40-hour work week went into effect in the United States.
Well, that's all the time we have. It's Friday.
Yay!
We're hoping you have a great weekend. We'll be back here Tuesday afternoon. For Eye the Tiger News, I'm Andrea Ross.
And I'm Mason Foltz. Thanks for being with us.